जय माता। चरणं शरणं रमाम्बिके, चरणं शरणं त्र्यम्बके. A glowing presence was before us, and as she seated herself on the sofa, peace and love radiated from the glance of grace she bestowed on the couple. For some moments, Mother was silent. Her words, when they came, were soft but throbbing with power. Children, Mother has hastened to your side to share with you the agony of your ordeal and to give comfort and solace to your hearts. Listen to me well. I am with you today to wipe away your tears and to bring the light of peace into your lives again. Each and every soul takes birth, impelled and compelled by Prarabdha. Life is full of challenges. It is spiritual strength that sustains you and brings you out of gloom with the constant light that is God. Allow not the mind to doubt that your japa, prayers, and devotion were all in vain. The outcome of Prarabdha is unavoidable. Realize the perishable nature of the world. All that you see and enjoy are in this birth alone. Real spirituality is the awareness that you are the imperishable self. This awareness should now become potent in your lives. Devotion and knowledge go hand in hand. Supreme devotion to God means absolute surrender. It is a sublime state of peace beyond the tribulations of life. In that state, there is no separate will, and the mind is not touched by pain or pleasure. But you are only at the beginning of that path of devotion. You have yet to reach the summit of surrender when even the dart of Prarabdha becomes cancelled by itself. For there God alone acts and inspires you. That is why Sri Krishna has declared that one in thousands attain that peerless state. But you should not despair, for Mother is with you. Do not lose faith, nor blame God for what has happened. Faith alone is the anchor of life. Faith invokes divine grace, minimizes suffering, and gives you peace and courage to cross this turbulent Bhavasagara. Remember that you are but actors in this temporary drama of life, but since you have taken part, you must act it well. Mother has stepped into this life to give you solace and courage. A time comes in every life when all around is darkness, where all human agencies are helpless. Then God's protecting arms alone remark life, remove all the thorns, and guide the soul to the blissful goal of moksha. Are you not Mother's beloved children? Is not my blood flowing in your veins? Know that Mother is sharing your sorrow and transform this world of trouble and anguish into a realm of peace and harmony. For a few moments, Mother sat, a glowing figure of power and love, the very embodiment of God as Mother. Then rising up, she went to the small shrine and taking a flower, placed it in the couple's hands. With a smiling glance of mercy, she left the room. In the hushed stillness we were alone, yet we felt her presence surrounding us. The power of her soft words reverberated in the room and in our hearts. The light of peace shone on the face of the grieving couple. The acceptance that comes with understanding replaced the fatalism and gloom of ignorance. O Mother, you intervened and took upon yourself the burden of their sorrow. Then, as now, I am filled with the wonder that the mystery of the way in which the divine will works. A few minutes later, we left the hall. I was called back to her presence for some instructions. I found Mother standing in the hall upstairs, her whole body drooping with fatigue, gasping for breath. The swelling was there as before on her face. In a feeble voice, Mother said, "The heart will not allow any exertion, but Mother's will puts it aside, as you have seen just now. The other day, I went to the hall to give darshan to the devotees who had been waiting so long. Do you know, for some moments, the heart stopped beating and the intense urge came to enter the shrine and merge in Mahasamadhi. But Mother knew that she had to be in this world for a little more time for a purpose. The body was on the point of collapse, but with a conscious effort of will, I reached my rooms. Understand well the meaning of these words. By then, Mother could barely stand and she walked into her room in silence. Tara Devi was there to help her into the room. I came away shocked by Mother's words and the state of her health. Mother had made me understand before that to provide succor to her children. Sometimes she accepted their burdens and annihilated them by suffering for them. At other times, these burdens were reduced when she went into Samadhi. I had often read without really understanding how avatars of God endured the agonies of sacrifice for human redemption, how Jesus Christ, Sri Ramakrishna, and others like them, in their incomparable love for humanity, underwent great suffering. It was only the close contact with Mother over the years that made me understand the magnitude of the sacrifices of these great ones. It was early in the month of August. One day I was called as usual to Mother Nilayam. I found Mother seated in the hall downstairs. She seemed tired, but there was look of purpose about her. She signed to me to be seated. Tara Devi was near her as usual. The only other persons there was the girls Medha, Meera and Vatsala. Meera was Medha's cousin, chosen by Mother for her total devotion and surrender. Mother's gaze was fixed, to the exclusion of all else, on these girls who had excluded from their lives kith and kin and worldly attachments to serve her cause. It was as though she was pouring on them a stream of love and mercy so powerful that I, who received but the drops that were split, immediately felt enclosed and protected in her divine grace. Mother had been talking to them and continued, "Remember that Mother will be with you always in your lives. With your dedicated work, you must become the instruments to make real my teachings. Mother's words have to be imprinted in every part of your being. Raise your lives to lofty heights. In your noble bearing should shine the unwavering radiance of spirituality. Although you have renounced the world, yet you have to move in the world, meet the people. Let your talk proclaim the highest truths. The mind should be internalized so that even when you see the world, it will not imprinted in your chitta. Even as the eyes looks outward, Your gaze should be turned inwards. Thus, within yourselves, at all times be in communion with me. Pausing, Mother smiled at Medha and said, "You have this detached vision spontaneously, but cultivate it more. When worldly things are spoken, cultivate Arthakandana, when only that meaning which you need from the word spoken filters through your consciousness. What is not needed will not be imprinted in your mind. Then Shabda Khandana easily follows, so that you are able to cut off the very sounds that you are unwanted. Tara is an example of these states of sadhava. Mother wants you to train yourself in these disciplines. With Mother's grace, nothing is impossible. Mother paused then and said, "Now I want to hear how each one of you will speak in public when the needs arises." Eyes glowing with joy, Mother listened to their speeches, at times correcting them. Sharanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage. Jai Mother.